So in today's video, you'll get to meet a very unique family with a unique situation concerning their 3 children. The first child, she is in 2nd grade, and she is profoundly deaf. At age 2, she was implanted with cochlears, but that was unsuccessful. She is now enrolled in a residential school, totally immersed in deaf culture, and she is actually thriving currently. The second child, he is in 1st grade, and contrary to his oldest sister, he is only hard of hearing, and he actually benefits from bilateral hearing aids and is mainstreamed in a general education environment of education, and he is thriving as well as he has developed full speech and functional auditory skills. And that leaves us with the third child, who is 5 years old, and he will actually be starting school this year. But the family has yet to make a decision regarding his mode of communication and school placement, so his situation is still up in the air regarding his future. His parents, or the parents of the 3 children, are actually hearing, but there is a history of deafness within the family, an extended family. So they are all fluent in sign language, but because of their bicultural approach, they actually consider hearing just as important as the deaf culture. So today we will be examining 2 speech pathologists as they consult the parents of these 3 children and give advice concerning the third child's future.
Hi, how are you doing today? It's good seeing you both back. Today we're going to discuss the different school placements that are available for your youngest. We're going to look at the residential or day schools, which focus more on deaf culture ideals, and then the regular education classes, which focus more on mainstreaming your child. However, before we start getting into detail about those options, I just wanted to go over what we discussed last week with the IEP for your youngest. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about what we set up. Just to review, like what we looked at, how Gallaudet University summarized that the IEP considers the child's language and communication needs while looking at opportunities for direct communication with peers and professional personnel in the communication mode and academic level that would best benefit that child. And since we already got all on track with that for your child, we can now look at the different options for their education. And our first option is the residential or day school. The staff on these campuses are mostly deaf or hearing individuals who have received training in deaf education already. These schools can serve up to 200 students, and they have special services with audiologists, psychiatrists, and counselors that will be on campus each day to work with the students. They do serve, like I said, up to 200, but the classroom sizes tend to be typically smaller than the mainstream classrooms just because they want to offer more of an interaction between the teachers and the children in the classrooms in case they need more of an assistance when learning certain subjects. The curriculum, though, will follow the same as mainstreaming, so your child will not get behind if you do choose to go to the residential option. And they also will receive just as many options for extracurricular activities, whether it's athletics or arts. You'll have a wide variety of both available to your child. And when it comes to how the staff can communicate with each child, since, like we've discussed many times, each child is different. There's no the same loss for 2 children. And so the people that work in our staff are trained to communicate through ASL or total communication and with the bilingual and bicultural approach. So there's many varieties of what's available to your student or your child. The difference between the residential and the day school, though, is residential, your child can live on campus. They'll sleep in the dormitories each night and can go home on the weekends to see you. If you choose to do the day school, you will commute to campus each morning and leave campus when campus hours are done. But it just depends on what works best for your family, which you can afford the most of and can benefit your child the most. If you do choose to go against implanting your youngest, I would definitely recommend this option. Whether you want him to live on campus or not, this is just the best way to have your child be immersed in the deaf culture at the greatest advantage.
Okay, so another option that we have is the regular education class, and this is where your child receives their education in a public school. So within the regular education class, there are several different programs available to your deaf or hard of hearing child. These programs include early intervention programs, which are developed to encourage effective communication and enhance their social interactions. There's also mainstreaming programs, which are provided for students with hearing loss and other disabilities to attend a regular education classroom with their peers who are non-disabled. They'll have access to interpreters, tutors, note takers if they need them to increase their productivity. Your child could also be placed in a self-contained classroom in the public school. And this is where they're in a classroom all day with other deaf students, and there's a deaf educator. There's also a resource room, and this is where your child is in the general ed class most of the day, and then they get pulled out for part of the day for help with trouble areas like math, language, anything like that. There's also an itinerant teacher, and this is a deaf educator who travels to different schools and works with the general ed teacher in the classroom to help with children who have hearing loss. So they may work directly with the child in the classroom with other students, or they may pull them out of the class and work with them on a one-on-one basis. So if you choose to go with the cochlear implant or even hearing aids like you have with your middle child, we would recommend going with the mainstream program. However, the decision is completely up to you. We've presented you with all the information we can about the school placement options for your child. If you have any other questions or if we can help you in any way, please let us know. We're here and support you 100%. Thank you for coming in today.